Weeks after Bush's death, handwritten letters reveal secret he kept for 10 years. George H.W. Bush, the 41st President of the United States, passed away on November 30. Now, weeks after his death, we have only just learned of the secret he kept close to his chest for 10 years before his death. The whole story is laid out in handwritten letters penned by the former president. Despite the fact that he was a former president of the United States, George H.W. Bush found the time in his very busy schedule to sponsor a young Filipino boy for an entire decade, newly revealed letters show. The 41st president sponsored a 7-year-old boy in the Philippines for 10 years using a pseudonym, the nonprofit who connected them revealed. Through Compassion International, a non-profit organization that uses local churches to help children in poor communities around the world, Bush sponsored a boy named Timothy. For a decade, the former president sent funds that went toward Timothy's education, extracurricular activities and some of his meals. The organization has shared some of Bush's letters with CNN. The Bush family was not available to comment on the letters, but Jim McGrath, a spokesperson for the office of George H.W. Bush, confirmed the letters' authenticity. George H.W. Bush was first inspired to sponsor a child in 2001 when he heard about Compassion International during a Christmas concert in Washington, D.C. Because the musicians were mostly Christian, they believed in our mission, explained Wes Stafford, the former president of Compassion International. During intermission, they would tell the audience about us, and ask them if they would like to sponsor a child, said Stafford. All of the sudden, Mr. Bush, who was sitting only a few rows back and surrounded by security, raised his hand and asked for a pamphlet. According to Stafford, Bush's security team was alarmed by this, as they had no idea what exactly was going to be on the pamphlet, or if the information on it had been screened for authenticity. But that didn't stop Bush. His top security called me and said, "This doesn't surprise me coming from him, but if he's going to sponsor this kid, we need to make sure the boy doesn't know who his sponsor is." So, he signed all his letters to Timothy as George Walker, said Stafford. Bush's security team was mainly concerned for Timothy's safety. They didn't want him to become a target if people found out the boy was in communication with a former U.S. president. Once the sponsorship began, Bush began writing to Timothy right away. He wrote in his first letter, sent on January 24, 2002, "Dear Timothy, I want to be your new pen pal. I am an old man, 77 years old, but I love kids, and though we have not met, I love you already. I live in Texas, I will write you from time to time, good luck. G. Walker. Leading VC investor. Dismissing crypto is like dismissing internet in 1993. Want to make money as a programmer? Learn blockchain development. Bitcoin and Ethereum news on ccn.com. In the wake of George H.W. Bush's death last month, people from around the world have reflected on the kind, selfless, and compassionate man that he was, not only toward his own family but to those he barely knew. George H.W. Bush made a lasting impact as President of the United States, and when he was no longer in the White House, he continued to make a positive impact in any way that he could, like with young Timothy, who was given a much better shot at a decent future, thanks to his famous sponsor. Find out more greater than. Please share this report with your friends on social media if this newly revealed fact about the late president warmed your heart.